Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Autopilot's webinar. Autopilot is a tool that allows you to automatize any HR process inside your company. Today, we will see how to manage the employee onboarding process all the way from its configuration to its usage.
Good day, this is Adamir from Autopilot, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. Fast Clouds are amazing partners of Autopilot. We've had a long relationship with them, and we are really excited to move forward and introduce Autopilot into the South American region and continue our success in North America. So what is Autopilot? Autopilot is a workflow automation tool that manages the flow of documents through a business. That can either be internal processes in the finance space, for example, invoice payments, purchase order requisitions, CapEx requests, and a lot of our business has been in the onboarding space. So effectively onboarding new employees, and in this day and age, you know how important that is to ensure that new employees have a professional opinion of your company from day one, and that you obtain all the necessary legal and statutory information from them in a clear and concise manner. And how we do that, we replace PDFs, Word documents, emails with an electronic form with built-in intelligence where applicants can upload their details nice and easily. Everything gets submitted, and then you, as the company doing the onboarding, then has a back-end view of exactly how many applicants you've had. You can communicate with the applicants right through the system. So that is the onboarding of new vendors, new employees, and new customers. We control workflows in these areas. Why is it important? A, to improve efficiency within the organization, to show a professional view, and two, to have a statutory control. Everything that gets done in the system gets logged to an audit trail. So if there's ever any sort of legal dispute, all of that information is stored simply and easily without recording the information manually. All of that is done through the system.
Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to do a demonstration of this great tool for automating processes. This is our account of Fast Consulting for the Autopilot platform, and we just need a username and password to log in. Now we are in the home page of the Autopilot system. So the first thing I want to show you is how to set up a process. So we're going to start by creating a process. And Autopilot has made it easy for us to create processes because they provide templates which we can adjust to our business needs. So now we are in setup, processes, and then we just create a new process. So here we can choose from several templates, and I'm going to do this demo on employee onboarding. So I'm going to scroll down to the employee workflow templates, and here's the one I'm looking for. New employee onboarding request. I'm going to click on it. And this is my template. So we already have a form with fields. From this template, we have several sections here. And if we go to flow, we have the complete flow already set up for us. So this employee onboarding process has about 9 steps total. So we have a form state tab, and this tells us which form sections are visible or hidden or collapsed or open for every step of the process. So very, very useful view for figuring out which sections will be available at which step. Next, we have the participants tab. So here you can have many participants. We have a few here, and for each of these participants, we have made the association to every step of the process. So let me show you. If I go to the form and I open office requirements, for example. So we have several fields here. Let me take you instead to the flow. And let me show you here to this button. So for every step, we can associate participants. So the first step is always associated to the initiator. That's the name of the participant. We don't see a participant button here, but for step 2 onwards, we do see the button, and here we associate the participant to this step. Basically, the participant is the person responsible for completing the tasks associated with this step. So here for participants, we have said that the line manager is the one that should complete these office and IT requirements. And so on. For the rest of the steps, we also have participants. Like when we get to the employee setup stage, we have this step to obtain the employee details. We can click on the participant button and we see that the HR user is the one that must complete the tasks for this step. Now, it is possible to change this and assign more than one participant to one step. For the time being, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to take you to the next tab, which is actions. So we can trigger several actions, including the sending of an email, of an SMS, of an automated phone call, of an information request email, sending data to a webhook endpoint. Useful if you have external systems you want to communicate to or send events to. We can archive files to SharePoint. And if you have Microsoft Teams, then we can also send activity notifications there, so users are on the same page. I am not going to create an action. Instead, I'm going to take you to the next tab, which is escalations. And basically here we would use this for running actions after certain event happens. So in this case, I am interested, for example, in reporting that this process has not completed after 3 days. I'll give it a title. So during which step should this escalation occur? Well, I want to tie it to the last step. And then manual escalation details. We add an escalation event. We choose an action. I did not create an action here. So let's create an action first to demonstrate this. I want to send an email. And we have a subject for this email. Okay, I'm adding an email body and some variables here from our process to identify it, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so the recipients will be, I want to send this to our manager, and this shows a sample email address I'm adding here. So now I can create my escalation event. I have several options here. Let's choose let me check the action again. Okay, for the type of action, we're going to change it to after escalation date reach. This should make it now visible in our escalation tab. Let's check this. Okay, we have it here now. I'm going to add title for escalation event. And we are going to save this. So with this, we can manually escalate the process. We can also do this providing an automated way of sending this email. So if by the due date this process is not completed, we want to trigger that email. All right, and that's how we would track those employee onboarding processes that have not completed after a certain amount of time. So we now have the reports tab, and here is where you can, export all of the data that is input in the form. You can export it, in a CSV as a CSV file. I have already created a report for this process in the past, but let's add one here now. So here I would select the fields that I want to export. And I'm pulling these fields from my form. the report criteria. I'm not going to add any filter. So I want to export everything. Just going to click save. So this report is now available. Every time the form is submitted, that information is now available to be exported with this report. And then we have finally the security tab. And here we can tell the system who can initiate this process, who can make changes to it, who can view it. And these are groups of users. So these are all of my groups that I have in my Autopilot account. And I can grant them access to initiate this process using this security mechanism. So this is it with regards to the setup of the process. We have our form with sections. We have our participants. We have our flow already set up here. So now it's time to test this out. So I'm gonna leave the setup and I'm going to go to my home and I'm going to click on initiate. So I have quite a few processes here, but the one I am interested in demonstrating how it works is the most recent process that I created, which is the employee onboarding request. So I'm going to click on this process, and here's my form. This is the initial form, but only the one section is showing up. And now this is very important. So when you start the process has default participants, right? For line manager, HR user, you can select a different user here as the default. For this demo, I have set my user as the default for every participant here. So we can track all the tasks and we can see all the activity here for my own email inbox. So I'm going to leave the participants as is, and I'm just gonna start filling this form. So this employee has already signed a contract. I'm going to attach the file. So I just attach the file. I'm going to select the date for this request, which is today. And then when we first review this information, which was also today, and I'm going to click submit. So by clicking submit, the request will be sent to the next participant in the flow, which is also myself, to complete the complete employee's office and IT requirements task. So let me duplicate this tab and show you the flow in a different tab, so we can keep track of the notifications and the participants. So I'm gonna go back to setup processes. And I'm gonna take you to the new employee onboarding request. So I'm gonna go to the flow. So we are here currently. We are starting a new employee onboarding request, and we can tell by the title here. And then as soon as I submit this, we'll get to the next step, which is we need to complete the office and IT requirements. And this is what the system is telling us. After submission, we're gonna get to the next step. I just click submit here. I can leave a comment. Great. So if I go to my email inbox, I can see that this task has been assigned to me. Complete the office and IT requirements for the new employee. For every step in the process, the participant gets an email similar to this one. So here I have been assigned this step, so I need to take action. So if I go to my to-do list here, this task has been created and assigned to me. So system is tracking all of these tasks assigned to me. I click on it, and now we are in the step 2. In the step 2, we need to complete, office requirements. We need to fill this part of the form and also the IT requirements section. So to have an idea where we are in the flow, I'm going to take you to setup, and this is where we are right now. And if you remember the form state, we are in office requirements. So section 2, in the step 2, office requirement is visible. So this is office requirement, and IT requirement sections are visible in the step 2, which is what we see here, IT requirements and office requirements. So I'm going to start by filling this out. Will the employee require keys to the office? No. Will we need any new equipment such as desk, phone, line for the employee? Yes. Will the employee require a PC laptop? Yes. Will the employee require Windows logged on? Yes. Will the employee require email address? Yes. Will the employee require internet access? Yes. Will the employee require remote access to the network? No. And when we're done, we can submit this, and this will get this request to the next step in the queue, which is the employee setup. And this, if we go to setup, I take the flow. So when we complete this step, we go to employee setup, and here are multiple tasks assigned to different participants. So HR and payroll department, they get these 2 tasks assigned. The office admin, he gets this task assigned. The IT branch department gets these 2 tasks assigned. And it's only after all of these tasks that completed that the process moves to the final step here, which is employee takeoff. So let's see what happens when I submit. So we go to the three tasks, right? We have the obtain employee details form 1, which is this one here for the HR payroll. We have confirm PC and licensing form 1, which is the task assigned to the office admin, and we have the complete the office administration task form 1. Yeah, it's this 3, right? That we have now in our queue. Now, I'm saying this because my user is the participant for each of these groups. If I go to my email inbox, we also have these email notifications arriving to our email here, one for every task. We also see a history of the comments left by other participants in previous steps. Now, each one of the participants must complete their task. So obtain employee details from one. So here I need to fill out these fields. I need to upload the document for its ID. Employees' bank details. Okay, you can see that these three fields are not required. They have not been marked as required. So we can leave this information blank if you need to. Employee contact details. This is also not marked as required, as opposed to required fields, which are marked with an asterisk. So, employees, in case of emergency contact details. Will you require parking bay? No. And then when I'm done, I'm going to click submit. All right. So we submitted one task and then we got another one assigned. So we completed the employee details, and then we have been assigned with the employee, with the setup employee, the payroll system task, which is this one. I'm just going to go in order. I'm going to confirm PC and licensing for one. So if I were the IT staff, I will complete this task. And here I can check that the payroll staff has completed this form. They say that the employee requires a PC laptop. So as an IT staff, I can provision that equipment for this new employee. and then I'm going to complete the every one of these questions. So have you created the Windows login? Yes. This login is this. Have you created the email address? Yes. Have you granted internet access to the employee's account? Yes. Have you granted remote access to the employee's account? No, because the employee does not require remote access. Have you confirmed that you have licensing for the above? Yes. When I'm done, I'm going to submit, and we go back to our flow. After confirming PC and licensing, we will get this new task assigned. Okay, so I'm going to complete the office administration task for 1. Everything here is in order. Okay, so for office requirements, we have this question. Have you organized any office requirements as per the above? Yes, I have granted equipment such as desk, phone line to the employee. So we are good to go. I'm going to submit this. Right, so with HR and payroll, we have completed both tasks. We still have to set up one, the payroll. Okay, my bad. Let's complete this last task for the HR. So if I go to my flow and I check step 5, let's go to our form state. So step 5 is this. So we see that the first 3 sections have been disabled and collapsed, and the section for the personal details, bank detail, employee bank detail, employee tax information, and employee contact detail, employees in case of emergency contact detail, and employees vehicle detail have been enabled, but those are collapsed. So as the participant in this step, I need to, have this information ready so that I can input this in our payroll system. So this process takes for granted that you have an external payroll system from which you will be feeding the information from Autopilot into that system by reading the information from this form. So here, Autopilot can send the information via a webhook integration so that you don't have to do it manually. That's one of the actions that we also looked at. Autopilot can communicate to external systems with this option, sending data to a webhook. So let's review. Everything looks good. We have all the information. So I'm just going to submit this, complete this step, and move the process Okay, so we have completed all tasks for, we go to the flow. For the HR and payroll now, we have completed office admin. We only have one task left for the IT branch to take care of. So I'm going to open this task. I'm going to complete my review. For the step 8, which is IT access setup, I'm going to take you to the form state. So this is step 8. IT requirements, this is the only section that is enabled and open. IT requirements, which is you see here. And then when this information has been filled out, I can submit, move the process to the final step. So because we have completed all of the steps in the employee setup, now Autopilot is taking us to this last step in the process, which is the finalized employee takeoff. If I go to my form state for this last 9th step, we have the sections collapsed except for the final checklist. So if I go and open the task, we see all the sections are collapsed and the final checklist is open. And this is the last question here. Is everything required for this employee take on complete? Yes. And let's submit. And this is how we end the process. No more tasks, and everything has been recorded. And if I go to my inbox here, we can see that I got a notification for every step along the process. And I also have a history here of what happened, the comments from previous participants. So this is pretty much what I had to show you. We can summarize this in few statements. Autopilot can automate the process of onboarding customers or employees. You get the powerful notification system and the actions also, to which you can attach to every step in the flow. You don't require any coding whatsoever. You do the configuration with clicks, not code, and you can also set up multiple participants here, and your data you can export it with reports.
Some of the questions that we asked at Autopilot are, what is your pricing model? And we try and keep our pricing model as simple and as fair as possible. So we quote you on your process. There's a once-off fee to customize your solution for you entirely into your process. So we meet your requirements as opposed to you fitting into ours. So we take 24 hours to give you a once-off fee to customize your entire process. In other words, your forms and your process flow. There's a once-off fee to customize the solution for you. Then we believe in a fair transaction-based pricing model, which In other words, means the more you use, the more you pay, the less you use, the less you pay. So based on the number of transactions you do a month, you pay that fee. And then the other costs are any third-party costs. In other words, the DocuSign integration. If you need integration, all the integration is done. So you don't pay the upfront fee, you only pay per signature used, and that's calculated per month. So again, you don't have to sign a contract with any external providers. We take care of that for you. Any other external fees that you'd like to use, we handle those for you. We often get asked, do we have a lock-in period? And the answer is no. We don't believe in holding our clients to ransom. You are allowed to leave with it at the end of any month, and we will obviously return all your data to you, no questions asked. How long does it take to automate a new workflow? That again depends on the process type. On average, it is 6 weeks. We've done some a lot less, and others take longer if there's a lot of integration and a lot of work to be done on our side. But on average, it is 6 weeks. Thank you so much for your time. Please feel free to email us if you have any further questions. All the best.
Thank you for your time and participation in this webinar. If you would like more information, you can call us at the 786-539-3699. Also, in the link exposed in the screen, you may go and register for a free trial, and we will be calling you for a demo in order to address and personalize the tool that you have with your company's processes. Have a great day.